and they let me make my opening, my ending remarks at the lunch. So that was really great. So we're leaving pretty much on time, I think, right? How's that? Pretty much on time?
Yeah, a little early.
I think kept us pretty much on time.
Are you proud of the trip?
Very proud of it. From a standpoint of security and safety, military, very proud, and trade, you will see numbers that you won't believe over the years. Because over a period of years, they will be treating us much differently than they have in the past. People were taking advantage, countries were taking advantage of the United States, more than just this region, but the world. And those days are over. We're going to be fair, we're going to be reciprocal. As I said in my remarks before, we will be reciprocal, meaning if they're doing it, we're doing it. And that's the way it's going to be.
What's one thing that you feel like you accomplished that you got done that you can tell the American people about?
Well, I think we made a lot of progress just in terms of relationship. We actually sold $300 billion worth of equipment and other things. And I think that number is going to be quadrupled very quickly. So that's over $1 trillion worth of stuff. I think we have done a really fantastic job. It's been a great trip. It's also been really good in terms of North Korea and getting everybody together. I think their acts are all together. China has been excellent. Japan and South Korea have been excellent. I think that's a very important part of the trip. And the other important part to me was trade and relationship. The Philippines is an unbelievably important military location because it's, if you speak to the admirals and you speak to the generals, that's a perfect spot. And as you know, we had no relationship for a long period of time in the Philippines, and now we have a very good relationship there. We're back with the Philippines, so strategically we have a very important location, maybe the most important strategic location in that area. So it's good. We had a great time. I hope you guys are all okay. You all look well. Go to sleep for a little while, and we'll be around. We'll talk to you later.
President Trump is scheduled to arrive back at the White House in about 4.5 hours after his big Asian trip, and he's promising a big announcement soon, maybe tomorrow. Correspondent Kristen Fisher is at the White House tonight.
It's been an incredible 12 days. I've enjoyed it immensely.
President Trump is in the air and on his way home from the trip he's describing as epic and tremendously successful. The president points to increasing pressure on Pyongyang with stops in Japan and South Korea and improving trade relations with China, Vietnam, and the Philippines.
Very proud of it. From a standpoint of security and safety, military, very proud, and trade, you will see numbers that you won't believe over the years.
President Trump says he's returning with $300 billion worth of trade deals for the U.S. So far, the details of those deals have been sparse, but the president's promising to get specific with a major announcement at the White House later this week. He's also returning with what he describes as his greatest accomplishment of the trip, improved relations with his many good friends.
Really extraordinary. We like each other. The incredibly warm welcome and magnificent ceremony. You're a very special man for your gracious hospitality. Thank you for your tremendous hospitality during my first visit to Vietnam. We've had a great relationship. This has been very successful.
But it's a different kind of relationship that's become the talk of Washington since Mr. Trump has been away. Roy Moore's alleged sexual misconduct with underage girls. It's pitting establishment figures like House Speaker Paul Ryan and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell against former White House strategist Steve Bannon and many in Mr. Trump's base. And now that he's back, he'll likely be asked the same question that his Attorney General was asked today.
Do you believe these young women?
I have no reason to doubt these young women.
With that in mind, if you believe these young women, do you believe Judge Moore should be seated in the Senate if he wins, and would you introduce investigations by the DOJ regarding his actions?
We will evaluate every case as to whether or not it should be investigated.
As for the 3 UCLA basketball players arrested in Beijing for shoplifting just one day before President Trump arrived in the country, well, they are now back on their way to the U.S. after Mr. Trump intervened on their behalf. He says that he had to personally ask President Xi for help, and he did, Brett.
Kristen Fisher live on the North Lawn. Kristen, thank you.